How much money did you make last month?
$10,075. It's amazing. It's incredible. I can't believe that I have my own business.
You are looking to hear the journey of a $10,000 a month notary signing agent and how she built this from scratch, then you're going to want to watch this video. Hello there. My name is Mark Wills. I'm America's largest notary coach, here with one of my students, Roseanne, from the great state of California, who's going to teach you exactly how she built her business. Roseanne, what's up?
What's up, Mark?
Oh my,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to share your story. There's a few things I want to start with. You've been one of my students for 5 years. So this isn't this overnight success. And I think that's really probably the most inspirational parts of your journey. What I see, and we're going to tell a story of like slow and steady and effort builds a business. So speaking of building a business, how much money did you make last month?
$10,075.
$10,075 in 30 working days, 30 calendar days is what I should say. When I say that back to you, like, how do you feel? What emotions come when you're like, wow, I did make $10,000 in my very own business? Well, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel unstoppable.
What do you mean by unstoppable?
So I work closely with real estate agents, lenders, and I hear about how tough it is for them to like work in the current business right now.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of tough stories, and I just show up, and people, they just ask me about I like, you make that much as a notary? So I'm like, yeah, I do, and I'm really busy and I need help. So it's amazing. It's incredible. I can't believe that I have my own business, and I don't feel, I'm 32 years old. Like I'm young, and a lot of people don't don't get the luxury that we do as loan signing agents.
I love it. And what I love what you just said, and so awesome is like, there's realtors and lenders who are saying this is a tough market. Meanwhile, you're making $10,000 a month, and it really showed you that tough is all about effort. And the more effort you get in, the more money and revenue you get out. And we're going to share this story. So, speaking of, being tough and effort, take me back. So, you've been a student of mine for 5 years. I call you like one of the OGs. Her and her husband know them both. They're both amazing. But take me back to 2020, 2019. Like, how did we get here? When I mean, hear me, why did you become a signing agent? Take us all back and let's talk about your story.
Prior to COVID, we were just living paycheck to paycheck. We had just bought our home in 2018. And I was just trying to figure things out, trying to see, do I need to switch jobs or go somewhere else because I need a little raise? I started doing Uber Eats and side gigs like that.
Stop you there real quick. So, do you have a college degree?
I do.
Okay,
I
so
do.
what's crazy is like you're living the American dream, right? You go to school, get a degree, find an amazing husband. I know that because I know him. An amazing husband. You buy a house. Like you're like check, 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 and check, right? You're doing all the things you're supposed to do, but yet you're living paycheck to paycheck. Like you think you're doing all the right things,
You
but
think
yet you're finding I got to do Uber Eats after I work a 9-hour shift. Like, walk us through that.
Yeah, so it's tough, and I come from immigrant parents. I worked with them during the summer and sometimes after school. And so from that, it just made me realize, like, was that college degree actually worth it?
Mm.
You know? And it's 4 years. Well, for me, it was almost 5 years of effort, hard work, determination. I was working during college, and I still have to work to catch up, pay my student debt, pay my mortgage now. And you just, realize, like, did I have to go through that to get here? Like, is this normal?
My guess is your parents wanted the best for you. And so they busted their tail and they're like, Roseanne, go to college, go to college. That's the answer. to all of your money and career problems, and you're just like, I'm there, and they're not being solved. And now you're a super successful notary signing agent. So keep taking us through the story. So you're living paycheck to paycheck, doing Uber Eats. Pick up from there.
Okay, so then COVID hits in February of 2020. I'm furloughed, and they tell me, you know what, we'll call you back once COVID is gone. They thought it was going to be like the swine flu. And I said, well, I still need to pay my bills. And then my coworkers and I were discussing applying for unemployment, which I had to do because I didn't know what else to do,
Yeah.
right? So
How'd
for
that make you feel?
it didn't make me feel well because I have a college degree, and I have work experience now, right?
Right.
And so I should be able to find something else, but during that time, a lot of law firms didn't have that work from home position. It was more, we're checking mail, we're checking the documents, people are getting served, you need to be there in person. So that wasn't something that was being offered at that time.
So you're furloughed. You just
Hmm.
a hit to the ego. I got to apply for unemployment. Like, what are you feeling? What's your husband saying? Are you guys scared? I mean, the whole world obviously was scared when you got first shut down,
Hmm.
but you compound that with, I don't have a job. I compound that with, I got to file for unemployment. I compound that with, I don't know what's next.
My husband worked for FedEx at that time, and they started to get really busy. But prior to that, we knew that we were not going to be able to pay our mortgage with just his income because we needed both of our incomes. So it was a really scary for that time period. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if we were going to lose our house, if we were going
Mm.
to have to go move in with our parents, or what was going to happen. It was very precarious and it was scary. It was a scary time. We were already paycheck to paycheck, so there was a time period where we didn't know what was next. So I
Mhm.
just remember being very scared. You're already scared about COVID, getting
Yeah.
COVID and all that. And then on top of that, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a very scary time for us.
I want people to hear these stories of, like, a lot of people see the success you have right now and then think like everything was rainbows and cupcakes. So like, no, it wasn't rainbow and cupcakes. Like, I had my struggles to get where I'm at. What I also think is inspiring about your journey, Roseanne, is not what you just shared, which was completely vulnerable. Thank you. It's also your income journey. You've been a student for 5 years. Again, you're not one of my students who came out crushing it, but you were one of my students who went direct really, really soon. And if you're watching this for the first time, you know what direct means. That means you go directly to realtors, lenders, and title companies. You don't work just for the signing service. How soon did you go direct after you started in 2020?
2 months.
Like 2 months. Like, how many signings do you have under your belt before you went to direct after 60 days?
I think it was somewhere 3 to 5.
Okay, so I want everyone hearing this who's watching right
Mhm.
now. You've been a signing agent for 5 years. You're 6 years basically. You're about to make six figures this year. Is there something you wish you would have done sooner so you could get to this place that you are, a six-figure signing agent, hopefully by the end of the year, quicker? What would that be that you wish you would have done earlier in your journey so you could expedite this process?
Yes, Mark, I would have spoken or marketed to more mortgage brokers, loan officers. I specifically work with a bunch currently who there's quite a few who give me constant business, and they just send an email to escrow asking for me to be there, and I handle at least 95% of their business. So
Wow.
then those relationships count. Those I get to meet a bunch of new people through those lenders. So
Okay,
escrow.
I love this. And I think it's not spoken about enough, right? Obviously, in my course, I'm like, go escrow, go title, right? They're kind of the golden goose for notaries. But you've actually found a nice niche in the lender lane. And so I think there's not a wrong, or for everyone watching, there's not a wrong or right way to build this business. There's a way that works for you. And so what I love that I just heard is you're like, Mark, I just want to start talk. I wish I would talk to more lenders. Tell everybody why the lender route is good for you and maybe share how you started getting that lender business.
So for me, it feels that it's more stable.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
because a lot of my lenders, they'll tell me, hey, I have a few closings coming up. I'll be reaching out. And it's just like nice because they tell me like, I don't know, like within that month, but it's like kind of ahead of time.
Yeah.
So just like keep your eyes peeled
Ah,
for that email,
okay. I'm gonna
or
stop you
call.
there. I love this. And that's why I love these conversations. So unlike escrow, where a lot of your appointments are last minute, day of is probably a better word, right?
That's right.
You get a client signing at 10 o'clock a.m. and then you got to do it by 3. See, lenders are working on pipelines. So and I'm trying to educate the audience. I know you know this.
Mhm.
But what I thought was very nice about that statement, because a lot of people don't understand this, Roseanne, is like the lender knows like when a loan doc is in underwriting. They know when it's in processing. So they know and then they have an expectation if it's in underwriting, then we should go for clear to close in like 5 days. So you love it because you kind of have an understanding how busy or not busy you're going to be because they're like, oh, I got a couple docs in the doc prep pipeline right now. So just prepare for Friday, prepare for Thursday, whatever that
Mhm.
is. And you love it mainly because you like having this idea like, oh, I'm gonna be super busy because you're
That's
actually
right.
going to the source. See, a lot of people don't understand, and that's why I do these episodes. It's the escrow officer is the loan officer's client. And so the loan officer is the one who really controls when docs go to escrow. And so if you can actually work with the lender, you're going to get a little bit of a head start or jump on like, oh, I should expect 3 or 4 at the end of the month or whatnot. Is it also your experience that the lender can then tell the escrow officer, oh, use Roseanne, use Town Notary?
That's right.
Tell people more about that because I think they're lost on that relationship.
I have a template actually that I send my lenders and they just keep it now. They just like copy and paste it and they just say, hey, um, something along the lines of, I'd like to introduce you to my preferred notary. If you could please schedule the signing with her. And
Mm.
sometimes they already have the time and date because they've already called me to see if I'm available and they'll put that in there as well. And so it's
I
just
hope
like,
everyone's hearing
wow.
this. Like the lenders can control. Now, does it 1 out of 100 times not happen? Sure. But 99 out of 100 times, if the loan officer's like, I want to have Roseanne be the notary on this deal, then they oblige. They're obligated to a certain degree to be like, oh, yes, we'll absolutely use her. And then share this. Have you met escrow relationships because the lender is referring you as his preferred notary. And now you're getting more business because the lenders introduced you to an escrow officer who never knew who you were. And then you go create a relationship with that escrow.
Yeah, that has happened more than once. And it's kind of nice because those escrow offices, they're not in my area for the
Right.
most part. And so they start building a relationship with me and then they realize, oh, you're in this area, I get a lot of closings out there, so I'll be in touch with you. And now we have a new relationship thanks to that lender.
We have community members of loan signing system who've been doing this for 5 years and still haven't gone talk to a title rep, title officer, loan officer, real estate agent. So walk everybody through like why and how do you have this crazy in the most beautiful sense of the word crazy ambition to go talk to a direct source.
I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose. I
Mm,
could have lost my house if I'm
okay.
not gonna do this, but overall, I just remember your voice in the back of my head, like, just follow the course and you'll be able to get there. And so I said, this is what Mark said to do. I'm here. I have nothing to lose and I need this income. So,
Well, let's unpack that real quick. So I thank you for giving me the credit, but you actually get the credit because I'm just a coach. The players who make the plays, and the really good players trust the coach. And what I just heard from you was, I trusted the system. You got out of your own way early. And maybe it's because you're so young, because sometimes when we get older, we learn to
mhm.
trust ourselves less. And I don't know why, but you're like, look, I paid for this course. This said to do this. Well, why would I not do what this said? And that's so simple, but also so brave. And I want to hear that. You just trust the system. The system works. What I also heard was somebody who was like, my back's up against the wall. I got to make my mortgage. And so when you combine, for lack of a better word, desperation and a playbook, this happens. And so I knew this part of your journey where after literally 3 to 5 signings, you're like, I'm going direct. And it really just came down to like, I have to trust the playbook. I can get out of my own way. I can stop overthinking. Mark said to do this. I'm going to do this. And you did it and it worked. What I love about your story is, again, I've said this a couple times. I'm going to say it again. You know, you're not one of my students who burned the bar down year one. Like you are now in year 6. What is your anticipated based on the revenue of the first 5 months? What is your revenue goal for the end of 2025?
100,000.
So $100,000. It took you 6 years to get there. Again, let me say that for everybody. This is a journey of slow and steady wins the race. Well, how much money did you make in year one of your business, 2020?
40,000.
How much you make in year 2021, the second year of business?
26,000.
Okay, so why did we make a drop in income?
After driving all over the Bay Area, I wanted something more steady, more set, a set schedule.
Was it really the set schedule you were looking for, or was it not a belief yet that you could be a thriving business owner?
It was partly both, you know. I
Yeah.
didn't know if this was temporary. I
Yeah.
remember everyone talking about, you know, it's right now it's good.
Right.
For now it's good, but we don't know later.
Yeah.
And so
And
then,
it's funny, like how the outside voices influence us. So by the end of 2021, what did you also do?
at the end of 2021, I went back to loan signing.
Okay. So you started 2021 with like, okay, I'm going to go get a real job. Everyone's telling me, oh, this is a blip. Oh my gosh. So you go get a real job.
Mhm.
And then by the end of the year, you're like, I'm over the real job. Walk us through why you made that decision.
So there was a couple reasons. The first one being that I was not able to do loan signing or signings because the office was actually closed. So I realized that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing because as a loan signing agent, I truly believe that I have met my purpose. For me, the majority of my business comes from the Latino community and my signings are mostly Spanish speaking people that I serve and I couldn't do that anymore. So that to me was like why did I do this? You know, I can't help my
I
people.
heard also in that statement is like someone who realized that I'm not meant to be building someone else's dreams. I'm meant to be building my dreams. And part of your dreams is helping your community. And what I love about that is you allowed yourself to feel that because you had the safety of the job. They didn't let you go, you quit. And I think a lot of people are scared to make that move into entrepreneurship because they're always told, get a job, work for yourself, work for somebody else. But again, what I love about your story is you were brave enough to trust your intuition again. 2 months in, you're brave enough to trust me, but then 2 years in, you're like, oh, I'm brave enough to trust my intuition, my gut. My gut says I need to be a signing agent. Here's what makes this journey even crazier is you chose to quit the good paycheck, the consistent paycheck, excuse me, at the end of COVID. Interest rates go up, not down. So you quit your job in 2021. 2022 is the year rates go from historical lows back to normal, which we are right now, right? So like you quit your job, a consistent paycheck, right when rates start going up. So why didn't that like freak you out to run back to the job again when you re-entered the market when rates were increasing?
First of all, it was about doing what I wanted to do, right? My dream, building my dream and not someone else's. And I knew that it was going to be up to me to figure out if I wanted to make more money or not, right? And so I took a major pay cut to go work in escrow. It was great experience, but I knew that at that time I believed in myself enough to carry my business forward and make it grow.
I'm looking at my notes over here. You're making, how much money did you make in 2022? I have about $60,000.
That's right.
Okay. Then how much did you make in 2023?
87,000.
So you actually made more in 2023 than you did 2022.
Mhm.
Rates were higher in 2023 than they were in 2022.
That's
Why?
right.
Why did you make more?
I went out and I marketed myself even more. Before I was just going to title companies, and then I started going to marketing meetings, real estate marketing meetings, chambers of commerces. So people started to recognize me everywhere.
What I'm hearing is someone says it's not about interest rates. It's about doubling down on effort. I started with title companies like you just shared, but then you start going to real estate events. You start networking more. And so again, if somebody says to you, Roseanne, that I'm not a busy signing agent because of interest rates, what would you say?
That that's a false statement and that you need to get out there and tell the world that you're a notary loan signing agent.
I share these stories to really break down a lot of myths, a lot of limiting beliefs. What I love about your story is you had a limiting belief. It's like, I needed a paycheck. So I'm going to go back to get a real job. But what I love about your journey, it was a moment of like, I got to believe in myself again. I know I can do it. I'm not building someone else's dream and getting back into the loan signing industry, even though rates were rising. 2023, you made 87,000. 2024, you made even more. And in 2025, you're on pace to do $100,000. And I think that's a beautiful story because where would you be today if you would have quit in 2021, the industry?
Probably still working in escrow or going back to the legal field.
Not making the money you make and
Nope.
building someone else's dream. And so I want to hear your story because I get a lot of emails. Well, Mark, I've been doing this for 2 years and I still haven't made more than $60,000. And I'm like real businesses take time. Real businesses take a multiplication of effort. And I think you're a great story of literally just what happens when you believe in yourself, you trust the process, you trust the system, and you tell everybody you're a notary signing agent. I am so proud of you, girl. Let's go. I've seen you
Thank you,
4 years straight at conferences. And what I love about this, I get to know your journeys more intimately, right? And I didn't realize in 2021 you went back to work. And then I didn't realize you're like, no, I got to believe in myself. And now you're going to have a 6-figure year and it's incredible. And you're so busy. As you can see behind you, you guys opened up Town
That's
Notary
right.
with your husband. And so, what a beautiful journey. So I ask every successful signing agent if you could only give one tip to help someone build a signing agent business, one 6-figure tip, what would you do to help someone else?
I would suggest following up as
Mm.
soon as you can. So in 2020, I was just waiting for people to call me to do signings.
Mm.
But when I got back into the business in 2022, I started calling people. I started walking in more. I started emailing people like, hey, I'm going to be in the area. If you have anything coming up, I'm your person. Like, send it to me. I'm here for you.
So what I heard was, early in your career, you would walk in, market your business, and you'd be like, well, how come my phone's not ringing? Versus now you realize that my phone's not ringing because I'm not doing the follow up. What was the aha moment that made you realize that? Because literally, I'm looking at my notes again over here, and you basically doubled your income from 2022 to 2023, more or less.
The aha moment was when I went to an office, I believe it was like 4 times. I want to say within like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was just like, hey, I'm in the area. I live here. So if you guys need anything, and then I'd show up again because I had to drop off docs for someone else. Hey, I'm in the area. I'm happy to help you. Showed up again, just kept showing up. And even though they kept saying, oh, yeah, we don't have anything, after the fourth or fifth time, they're like, you know what? I have a signing for you. Can you take this?
Okay. Let's talk about this. So it was easy to follow up because they're right basically where you lived. So
Hmm.
because it was easy, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go follow up. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that actually worked.
Yeah.
Man, if you follow up, that's where the magic is. So I love everybody watching right now. Her piece of advice is follow up. It changed her business. She kind of tripped in this, oh my gosh, well, it's easy to follow up with this one company. But oh my God, that actually works. So I'm like following up with everybody now. And so would you tell people watching that like the follow-up process, in your opinion, is the follow-up part of your marketing strategy arguably more important than the initial conversation?
Yes. a hundred
Why?
percent.
Why?
Because there's been times where I've fallen off, right? Like I said, I go drop something off and then I send an email, or sometimes I don't even, I'm so busy, I forget to send the email, you know? And so I think that I get more often than not a call back, a text back, an email back because I just stopped by and said hello, or I emailed someone and said, hey, this is my availability this week. If you have anything, I'm
Yeah.
here for you.
And so I hope everybody heard that. She feels like the follow up is more important than the initial conversation. I wanted you to share that because I think a lot of students get discouraged that, Mark, I had an unbelievable first meeting with the realtor. How come they haven't called me yet? Well, because you just got to stay top of mind and keep on continuing to
That's right.
market your business to them. And so a really successful signing agent understands that the follow up is more important than that great first meeting. So if you're a notary signing agent and you're out there marketing direct or working for signing service, you're like, how come they haven't called me? They haven't called you because you haven't followed up yet. And 4 times in 3 weeks is basically the motto she uses. So oh my gosh, what a great conversation. Let's kind of wrap up with this. She gave you the script that she has the loan officers tell the escrow officer, so she's attached to it. She's telling you that she gets more business because of these referrals and introductions, all through loan officer business. And we're going to stop with that. I want to say thank you so much for doing this. It's been so amazing to get to know you even better, not in the quick hallway hugs and conversations, but thank you so much. You're an inspiration. And girl, don't stop. Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.